A likely explosion in Pullman leaving neighbors shaken. The manhunt sending nearly a dozen agencies rushing to the Idaho border, where the investigation stands tonight. Plus, Spokane's dispatch breakup with the county will be rockier than expected.
I understand the desire to have autonomy and control over their system, but I would ask at what cost?
Why both sides are warning of higher wait times when you call 911.
We're cold again tomorrow morning, but then we're talking summertime heat returning to the forecast.
Tonight, several people won't be sleeping in their Pullman home. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. This after a suspected explosion destroyed an apartment overnight. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is in Pullman with what we now know.
This apartment fire rocked Pullman, forcing dozens out of their home. Pullman investigators believe the fire started in an apartment unit on the second floor. Tonight, the man accused of setting this fire is in custody.
This afternoon, investigators allowed people to gather some of their belongings. We caught up with Calvin McDonald, who's taking his reptiles to get checked by the vet.
A lot of them are probably sick from the chill.
Just too cold. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. They're not dead.
Pullman police say Elijah Regan may have intentionally caused an explosion in his unit Sunday night at this Military Hill apartment. Tonight, they're reporting no injuries. The Spokane County Bomb Squad responded to the apartment as a precaution. Later that night, they say Regan led multiple agencies on a high-speed chase. Pullman police say he eventually pulled over and surrendered just over the Idaho state line north of Lewiston. Police booked him into Nez Perce County Jail, where he faces arson and attempt to elude charges.
Pullman investigators are still determining what exactly was the cause of this fire. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. Reporting in Pullman, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Spokane police say they've arrested a man they say set another person on fire near the Brown Street Viaduct last month. Police say Dupree Meadows used an improvised flamethrower to light David Karn on fire. Karn had to be life-flighted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle for treatment. Police saying he had burns on 2/3 of his body. Karn telling police that he knew his alleged attacker for a decade. Police were able to arrest Meadows after they saw him walking downtown days later. Meadows now faces first-degree arson and first-degree assault charges. No word yet on why the attack happened. A WSP sting has led to the arrest of at least a dozen people who investigators say responded online to officers posing as parents offering their children up for sex. The operation took place last week in both Spokane and Liberty Lake. At least 13 men and a woman appeared before a judge. Prosecutors charged most with attempted child rape. Last night, police say an intruder broke into the legislative building of the Washington State Capitol and damaged several facilities and historical artifacts. State leaders say a suspect is in custody. In a statement, Speaker Lori Jenkins says the intruder vandalized and set fire in the rotunda, state reception room, and to various flags. Jenkins added, quote, "While this act of destruction is disturbing, we will not be deterred," end quote. In North Idaho, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says a fisherman found a body floating in the water. It happened yesterday morning near Henry Point in Hayden. Investigators say there are not signs of foul play. The exact cause of death is still under investigation tonight. The Nez Perce County Sheriff's Office says it cited 9 people after they allegedly flashed people along the Snake River. Deputies say a group of rafters was showing off their genitals and moon boats passing by. Deputies say that incident, or indecent exposure rather, on boats has been an increasing problem, and they have a zero tolerance policy for it. Idaho State Police are extending the application for new troopers amid a shortage in the state. ISP telling us the problem is especially bad in Coeur d'Alene and in Lewiston. Right now, other districts across the state are picking up the slack. The hiring process includes a physical exam, a written test, an interview, as well as medical and psychological evaluations. To apply, you need to be a U.S. citizen, at least 21 years old, have a high school diploma or equivalent, have an Idaho driver's license, and pass a background check. The new deadline to apply is a week from Friday. All right, let's talk weather on this Monday with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoud joining us. That sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Leaders with Spokane's Regional Emergency Communications, or SHREC, are pushing for answers from the city of Spokane. They say without some collaboration, there are risks of delays and potential failures in fire response. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy has been following this story. And Shannon, it is a complex one.
Yeah, so one of the major aspects of this ongoing debate is computer-aided dispatch. Right now, the city and Shrek operate on automatic aid. That's a computer system dispatching the closest fire truck or station to an emergency. But by spring, that dispatch will take longer because city units won't be in the system, and a dispatcher will have to manually transfer the call to Spokane. Shrek Board Chair Cody Rohrbach says Spokane fire units could be added back into the system as an outside partner, but Shrek is still waiting on the city's plans.
They don't have the CAD yet, and so for this interface to be built, the Shrek IT department needs to know where they're building the bridge to. There is no ability to build the bridge to anywhere at this point.
And Shannon, there have been claims that Shrek deleted Spokane out of the CAD system intentionally. What have you learned about that?
Well, I had a lengthy conversation with Chief Rohrbach last week, and he says this idea that it was maybe done out of spite is false. He explained as Shrek was building the new system, they found duplications, meaning some fire trucks or other apparatus had the same names in the system. So Shrek had to basically clear the board and start almost from scratch, meaning many units, even in the county, were deleted out, renamed, and then added back in. But when the city opted out of the system in July, Spokane Fire Department was not added back into CAD.
All right, you've also learned a bit more about what this could all cost taxpayers.
So I actually have a report here that we obtained, and this is a consultant's report detailing what it will take for Spokane to set up its own dispatch operation. The estimate is nearly $100 million over 5 years, and that includes setting up the city's own computer-aided dispatch system. Chief Rohrbach says that will cost Spokane about twice as much, about $5.5 million, than it would have to use Shrek's CAD system.
All right, and you'll have more in-depth report at 5. But for now, what does the city say about all this?
Well, we did get a statement from Council President Betsy Wilkerson, and she said the city remains committed to reaching an accountable resolution.
More on this one. All right, Shannon, thank you very much. In other news tonight, a Washington woman, part of a viral Gaza aid flotilla captured by Israel. Coming up in 4 minutes, their arrest now drawing international condemnation. Plus, a major win for Portland as it pushes back on the deployment of National Guard troops at 4:16 tonight. The next American city now facing the same threats from the White House.